So number 10, Oppenheimer. Yes, Oppenheimer make the top 10. And this is where we get tricky. This is where we get sticky, man. Yo, light up the exotic. We get into the real good stuff, the meat of the potatoes, like the meat and the potatoes of it all. So Oppenheimer, man, this movie, while I didn't like, I'm gonna keep it so real. It's in my top 10, but I'll never watch it again. You know why? Because I'm not smart enough for this movie to even care about what was going on in the movie. But as a movie goer, I can appreciate how good this movie was, how well shot it was, the important historical, context of it all. Um, it all just meant a lot. I mean, come on. We was able to win the war because of Oppenheimer. So the film, to me, very well. The only thing that was bad about this movie to me is the guy at the end who tried to do a slow clap and failed miserably. I felt bad for him, and I felt bad for him. I did a slow clap, and I forget what movie it was. It could have been maybe it was Gran Turismo. It was some movie, but I did a slow clap at work. He did a slow clap. He felt miserably. Whatever, man. But as far as the movie, it was a really good movie. And you know why it's in my top 10? Y'all know why, man. Because I seen Florence Pugh's boobies. Boobies. Elite milk. Elite milk, man. So for that, Oppenheimer got to be in the top 10. Got to be. I could watch this movie again just to see them titties. Now, it's a long-ass movie, 3 hours, for sure. Long-ass movie, but it was worth it. Robert Downey Jr. killed it. I don't know if it's Cillian or Cillian Murphy, but he dogged it. All his scenes, fire. Like, bro, was not expecting Josh Peck in this movie. He bodied his role. Like, that dude who played Einstein, he bodied it. Like, bro, the acting in this movie was top tier, bro. And this is what I'm talking about, man. Christopher Nolan is the freaking man, bro. Like, he really bodied this film. And then it was something else I was going to touch on in this movie. I think the most disappointing thing about it was the whole atomic bomb of it all. I think, me personally, I wanted to see, the bomb get dropped on the Japs. I wanted to see the bomb be reenacted, on Hiroshima, but I mean, they suffered enough, so I get it, man, because that was messed up, man, and people didn't deserve that. I wouldn't be mad if Cillian, I wouldn't be mad if he got an Oscar for this film. I really wouldn't be mad. To be real with you, I think it's neck and neck with him and Leo right now. So this movie was really good, to be real with you. And I would watch it again. It was very interesting. And again, the historical aspect of it is just incredible, okay? Number 9, Joyride. So, I really enjoyed Joyride, if I'm just going to be so real with you. It had to be in my top 10 because I had so much fun with this film, bro. Like, when Aubrey's business trip to Asia goes sideways, she enlists the help of Lolo, her childhood best friend, Kat, a college friend, and Deadeye, Lolo's eccentric cousin. Their epic no-holds-barred experience becomes a journey of bonding, friendship, belonging, and wild debauchery that reveals the universal truth of what it means to know and love who you are. So while this movie is a straight ripoff of a girls trip, it's like Asian girls trip. I enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed Girls Trip, to be honest. And the humor in this is my type of humor, and a lot of great Asian stereotypical jokes, and that type of stuff is needed in comedy. And I'm pretty sure, the directors, like, I'm pretty sure this was like an Asian film. I don't think it was like, the whites doing that type of stuff. So yeah, I thought it was really good. Adele Lim, yeah, and this is an Asian chick or Malaysian. I don't know. It got the Asian in it, so I'm pretty sure it's the same shit. Yeah, man, I thought it was really good, man. Some of the comedy was just spot on. Like, to me, I'm gonna keep it so real. This movie reminded me of like early 2000s comedy, like watching Pineapple Express or uh Knocked Up, watching those types of comedies. That's what this film reminded me of, and we need that. I need that for a comedy. You know, the No Hard Feelings, they kind of captured that a little bit, but a lot of these comedies, man, they be like so PC. It's kind of hard to really like, and it's like they always trying to drive a political message. Like when I watched that movie on Netflix with Jonah Hill and Lauren London, it's like always trying to drive a political message, instead of just giving me a funny movie. So yeah, man, this Joyride, to me, I would actually watch it again if I could find it somewhere on streaming. I would. I wouldn't pay to watch it again, but if I could find it somewhere on streaming, I definitely would. And I really have no qualms about it, honestly, other than just the end, because the end was just a little like, I really like the funny of it all, but once it got to the serious stuff, it just kind of like took the air out. Because the funny shit was like when she realized she was like not Chinese, she was either Japanese or Korean or some shit. And the whole family just started going in on her, like, I mean, real racist, like how Puerto Ricans and Mexicans talk shit against each other. Like, if you got a Puerto Rican homie, if you got a Puerto Rican friend, it was crazy how you hear them talk about Mexicans, and they like all in the Hispanic tree, but the way they talk about Mexicans, I don't think I've really had too many Mexican homies, so I don't really know how they talk, but boy, it goes down. So that's what it reminded me of, and I really thought that shit was funny, man. I thought it was funny. Number 8, Killers of the Flower Moon. 3.5 hours long. This movie, honestly, I love this movie. So I went to go see this movie on my birthday. This was my birthday gift to me. I went to go see this on my birthday. And my lady, soon as we got done watching it, she was like, man, we could have watched this shit on streaming. But I really I'm the movie guy. Y'all know I've already said this. That would be my podcast name if it wasn't already taken. And then I'm not going to be like, well, I'm the black movie guy, because y'all know I don't get down like that. Like, respect me just for me, not because I'm black. So, this movie, I really enjoyed. The runtime did not do anything to me. Again, I don't have like I don't really have like a super weak bladder. You know what I mean? Like, so if I go piss before the movie, like, or excuse my language, if I go number 1 before the movie, I'm usually good for a few hours, unless I'm in there really like, and if I'm really in there drinking and I don't get super drunk at the movie, like if I bring like a beer in there, because the theater I go to, they sell some bullshit. But if I bring like a malt liquor in there and I got a tall can, I may have to go to the bathroom. Other than that, I'll be good. So the 3.5 hour runtime did not do anything for me, to be honest with you. So real love crosses paths with unspeakable betrayal as Molly Burkhart, a member of the Osage Nation, tries to save her community from a spree of murders fueled by oil and greed. And this is a true story. This is based on a true story. This takes place in the 1920s, and there's actually a book about it as well. And these were like the Osage tribe, man. They had a lot of bread, you know. They discovered oil. They discovered oil on their land, and it's crazy how they was all picked off one by one. And some of these people even got pardons. Um, so when I hear Martin Scorsese and I hear Leonardo DiCaprio, I say, how much of my money do you need? Because that's automatic. Like Scorsese, Leo, come on, man, that's automatic. And Leo, to me, he did a brilliant job in this again. Like Leo is such a good actor. Not one role feels the same. He doesn't feel like Leonardo DiCaprio. He feels like whichever character he is playing. I know that's Leo, but for some reason, he's able to capture the magic, you know, and bottle that up and really just give different performances every time. And this one was no different, man. He really bodied this role. So that's why I said him and Cillian Murphy, they right there, I think neck and neck. I might give the slight edge to Leo, honestly, but it's probably because I like this movie a little more than I did Oppenheimer. Now, obviously, this movie did not make clearly not even close to what Oppenheimer made. Doesn't mean it wasn't as good or even better. And honestly, I thought it was better. It's a true story, and it's one of those stories that deserve to be told. Um, I mean, it was 90, I think like a 94% at the box or Rotten Tomatoes, and then like 84% on the audience score. And honestly, I think a lot of that is just because of the runtime. Because I think if you would have shaved maybe about a half hour off, maybe you get a 90%. But even then, I don't think it was anything you could take out of that movie. I think it all needed to be put in there. And I personally, I like when they show how devious motherfuckers was in those early days of the 1900s and how, you know, they used to just get away with it. Like, bro, Leonardo DiCaprio, his character blew up his sister's house with his sister, or not his sister, but his wife's sister's house, blew it up with her and her husband in it, killed, I believe the husband was severely injured, and the wife, like her brain was falling out the back of her head, bro. Like it was crazy to watch. You know, he was giving his wife, she had diabetes, and this was around when they first developed insulin. Instead of just giving her the insulin, he was giving her poison. And bro, he only did like 5 years in prison. Like, what? That is crazy to me. Like, you know, and they're not getting away with stuff like, I'm not sure they're not getting away with stuff like that now, but back in the days, bro, you know, man, them white dudes was getting away with a lot. They was getting away with murder. Like, seriously. Like, when they say, oh man, they get away with murder, like, bro, they were literally getting away with murder. Like, and then honestly, Robert De Niro, he was obviously just a gem in this movie as well. And his character, he got life or some shit, and he was only did like 5 or 6 years. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And I shout out to Martin Scorsese for putting the light on this, because again, this was real. So I got to, you know, I got to get the historical accuracies of stuff that went on in the 1920s, you know, around the time where the Oklahoma City bombings was going on, you know, when they killed Black Wall Street, man. So, you know, this was actually really good. And I recommend anyone to go watch this movie, especially now that you can watch it on Apple TV. Like, you know, you can watch it at home. You don't gotta go and watch it in the theater because it was so long. So yeah, man, I just really feel like that movie was really good to watch, and I would watch it again. But honestly, a movie that's 3.5 hours long, I really gotta have nothing to do. You know what I mean? But still, very good, very good. Number 7, Creed 3. So this was the first film I've ever seen in IMAX, and it was a delight. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I could really tell the difference, and I really enjoyed this film. The first film Michael B. Jordan directed, and he actually did a really good job. And this was, I believe, this might have kicked off my March movie madness. But regardless, man, this was just a good. It was a good film, and it was like it was one of those films when you watching it and you get that like you get that feeling like adrenaline of seeing somebody go from nothing to something. All of that plays a part in Creed 3. The worst thing about this movie, I hate to sound so bad, bro, and I don't. I respect all of these actors and everything they do, and I like Michael B. Jordan in the movie. But the worst part about the movie was his acting. Like, everything about it was great. The directing was great. Jonathan Majors was great. His daughter. I was actually surprised about how funny, how smart, how beautiful her acting was as being a deaf person and doing sign language. And to me, she stole some of the movie. And then Michael B. Jordan, his acting kind of just brings it down a little bit, because for some reason his acting just, I don't know if it's just not believable as him being a fighter or whatever it is. Like, his acting in as Killmonger, incredible. Like, that villainous act, very good. That, I don't know what it is about him being in Creed. I just don't like his acting as much. So, but it still was a really good movie, man. And then we got a little more on his backstory. And I when I say his, I say Creed, but Jonathan Majors, man, he bodied it. Like, what he did in this movie is what he was supposed to do in Ant-Man. And that's why I put a lot of blame on, the way he was acting. And I just put that blame on Marvel, because, and not even just Marvel, but the director of that film, because he's great in Loki. He's really good in Loki. So I just think it was something about him, man, that just he wasn't a good actor in, or he didn't have lot of good lines, because he bodied Creed 3. Like, when he called the first take and all of that stuff, that part was crazy. Like, it was really good. Like, in the way he just was talking, just his bravado. When he punched Michael B. Jordan character on the beach, and it was like, look at it now. I'm the champ. Like, I'm heavyweight champ. Like, he was really good, man. So shout out to Creed 3. The fight scenes, the action was amazing. And of course, Michael B. Jordan had to win. And again, if I'm being I get it. Michael B. Jordan's character already lost in the first film. So then if he loses again in the third film, it's like, well, damn. So I think it would have been, I'm gonna keep it so real. This movie would have been a little better if and that's just changing the whole thing. But if he could have won in the first film and then he ends up losing in this film, now you give me a reason to come back to see these two fight again in the fourth film. You know what I mean? Just to give a little more time, because you can already see that they want to kind of have the daughter be next up. So I think that would have made a little more sense if he could have lost to Michael or to Jonathan Majors' character. But regardless, it was still a very good film. But I think the ending could have been just a little better. But seriously, still a good film. Still a good film. Number 6, The Marvels. So this was pretty tough for me, because I was trying my hardest, because I love The Marvels. I seen this movie 3 times in theaters. I bought 5 tickets. I really enjoyed this movie. So I wanted to put it in my top 5, but I was really wrestling with the number 5 film. And I'm not going to bury the lead on that, okay? But I was really struggling with it. But yeah, The Marvels dropped November 10th, directed by Nia DaCosta. Honestly, Mero, it was really I love this movie. Not really too many flaws. The worst thing about this movie that I'm hearing from a lot of people is it felt rushed because it was 90 minutes. Like people wanted to be a little longer, more flow. And I think it was the studio being just a little bit scared, like just trying to cut out anything that felt like filler or I don't know what it was, man, but this movie was really good. Brie Larson stuns again. Now, while I don't think it's better than Captain Marvel, a lot of people do. Captain Marvel just holds a special place in my heart. But the Marvels, it might, you might have to make some room. I think it's the ultimate comfort film, to be real with you, and that's not a slight at all. I love my comfort films. Thor: Love and Thunder, comfort film. Um, Happy Gilmore, comfort film. Like I love, and I know that's way like go from Love and Thunder to Happy Gilmore, but still, I'm just naming comfort films for me. But yeah, the Marvels really good. Kamala, Iman Vellani, she shined in this movie. I mean, and in Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau. I mean, again, bro, they to me, all three of them shined. Like, and they actually converged into one big bright star, to be honest. So, do I still feel like I want Captain Marvel 2? I do still feel like I want a solo Captain Marvel film. But if they want to just say this is Captain Marvel 2, I'm here for it. Maybe they won't make Captain Marvel 3 because this one flopped at the box office so bad. And I don't know whose fault that is to blame. Like, I don't know who's to blame for that. Can you blame the writer's strike? Can you blame the actor's strike? Can you blame the fact that a lot of women didn't show up? Can you blame the fact that they didn't market it as, this is a black woman director and market that to black women? Because don't nobody support like black women support. So maybe they try to go too far to their way to say this isn't a woman superhero movie. This is just a superhero movie with women in it. Like maybe they went too far to their way to do that. But regardless, man, it still ended up being the worst film in Marvel history when it comes to box office. Worse than Incredible Hulk, worse than Thor: Love and Thunder, or not Love and Thunder, Thor, The Dark World, worse than The Flash. Even I think it might was it. I don't think it did worse as Blue Beetle. But I'm gonna keep it so real with you though, man. Mostly everything that came out like in November, they didn't really do good. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, it had $200 million, $200 million budget, did like 138 or 150 at the box office. A lot of stuff in November. I don't know. Maybe it's just towards the end of the year. A lot of people checked out. Maybe this movie would have been better as a summer flick. I don't know why they waited all the way to November because I mean shit, Guardians came out and I think it came out Cinco de Mayo. Yo, this movie should have been coming out at least August, while people were still out of school. I think it just came out at the wrong time, man. It was just all a recipe for a failure. And I hate that. But as far as the film, I mean, this scene right here with the bouncing and everyone doing their thing and the whole montage, the workout scene. Y'all know I love a good workout montage scene when it comes to superheroes. So I think this one was just as good, man. I thought it was just as good as the montage, like the workout, or when the Spider Bros, when they did their workshop scene. Like, I thought it lived up to it, and I'm gonna keep it real. The action in this film, I might think is the best that Marvel put out this year. I thought the action was better than anything in Guardians outside of that one shot. That last one shot was fire. But as far as the whole film, I think it was better than anything in Ant-Man for sure. So yeah, I thought the action was really good. Some brutal kick-ass scenes. And then the comedy was peak to me. I thought Samuel L. Jackson was, a gem as well. And again, I don't have to keep harping on it, but the lady who plays Kamala Khan's mom, bro, she's just incredible. Like, and I just always want to shout her out. Zenobia Shroff. Yo, she's amazing. All honestly, bro, this movie was just really good. It picked up right from the Marvel or Miss Marvel TV show. And yeah, it was really good. I honestly, when this movie comes out, I think I'm gonna do like a binge. I'm gonna just binge the entire thing. I'm gonna binge the entire Marvels or the entire Miss Marvel, and then watch the Marvels because it's that good to me. Okay, and yes, I've seen it 3 times, and shit. When it comes out on Disney Plus, I'm gonna watch it some more. And I think actually I'm just gonna buy this film to be real with you. Um, I think I'm gonna just buy this, because I really like this film and I don't want to watch it with ads on Disney Plus. Before we get into the top 5, please make sure you following at Kevin27 World on Instagram, Twitter, aka X. Subscribe on YouTube at Kevin27 World. Also give 5-star ratings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, because that helps get this podcast many more listeners and followers. Okay. And I know y'all listening because I seen my Spotify stats, and yeah, I know y'all listening. So number 5, and yeah, man, this is what we was wrestling with. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, number 5 for sure. I was gonna put the Marvels, but then and I think I've been a little more critical of Guardians, and honestly than I should, because while I like the ending of the Marvels the most, it's not even honestly. I think the whole thing with the Guardians is it's not even that it's just such a better movie. I think it was just good for closure. When you talk about, as far as the whole crew. But this movie was really good. And I'm gonna tell you what took it over the edge to me. When I weighed the villains of Darben and the High Evolutionary takes the cake. I mean, he took the cake, sliced it all up, So with that being said, man, I had to do that. And I felt like it was only appropriate because the villain for Guardians 3 was just much better. And honestly, I don't even think it's close. Now, while I like Darben as a villain, she's nowhere near High Evolutionary. And yeah, so for that, and I think with the emotion that comes with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think Guardians was just a slightly better movie. Now which one did I enjoy more? I might say the Marvels, but I think objectively, Guardians 3 is just a better movie. Chris Pratt, my guy. The only out of place thing in the movie was Zoe Saldana as Gamora. Like, yo, they could have just let her be dead, bro. I'm just keeping it so real with you. I really didn't like her in the film. She was good, but she just didn't seem like she was very needed. Okay, so yeah, they could have did that a little better, but I thought the Swan song was good, man. I thought the goodbye to the Guardians was good. The goodbye to James Gunn was good as well. Now that he's on his own journey in DC. So yeah, man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that's a must watch all the time. Like, I could watch that a lot of times. And to be real with you, I think it's the best movie Marvel put out in 2023 for sure. For sure, as far as the MCU. Number 4. Coincidentally, John Wick 4. Yes, John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4. amazing. I don't even think it's not even debated. I seen like one podcast say that the movie was sorry. Other than that, mostly everybody loved John Wick 4. It was the highest grossing film of the franchise. I went to go see it twice. Um, I don't go see movies twice unless they're Marvel movies. I seen this movie twice. So yeah, man, I seen it twice and I bought it. Like I own the movie on digital. You know what I mean? So which was a bad move because I don't even know why I did it because whatever. It don't even matter why I did it. But anyways, yo, John Wick 4, amazing movie. The nod to all the OG action films, the OG video games, like everything in it, the Warriors, like they just, bro, this was like a love letter to every action movie and video game from the 80s and 90s and 2000. It's just, bro, honestly, and the fact that they was able to fit it all in this movie, one film, was incredible to me. John Wick, amazing. Keanu Reeves as John Wick, amazing. Lawrence Fishburne being back, great again. And I'm gonna keep it real. The villain, yo, he was the shit to me. His whole um his whole demeanor was just incredible to me. Um Marquis, that was his name, the Marquis, right? Yeah, he was incredible to me. Um who else was really good? Donnie Yen is Kane. I mean, come on. Like his whole scene when he just walk in and everything just going crazy. And then he just walk in so calm and he just start whooping shit and he blind. So he got that whole blind thing going on. And it's always impressive seeing a blind man beat people up. Like that trope has just not gotten old yet. I mean, I loved it with Toph and Avatar. I loved it with was Blind Samurai. Um, bro, the blind trope, Daredevil, like the blind trope just hasn't gotten old to me yet. Definitely we're gonna be seeing the new trope is deaf characters, and we're gonna see if that's gonna be able to translate as well when Echo comes out. But the blind shit, man, it doesn't get old. And I mean, shit, they even, bro, they gave a homage to the westerns and the draw and all of that, man. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you like this, bro. They need John Wick 5 and Nick Keanu. We need you, man. We need you. I know you died at the end of John Wick 4 and all of that stuff. You want to rest in peace. You did what you had to do. But man, you just too cold for that shit, man. Like, you too cold for that, man. So, yo, I'm not mad at it. Who else was in this movie that was crazy? The fat dude, which he isn't fat. He was fat fishing. He definitely was a fat dude in a purple suit, and he's not really fat in real life. So I was a little disappointed. But even then, they put on for the fat dudes. Like all of the action scenes were just in, bro. These action scenes was like they had like 20-minute action scenes. Like some of the action scenes were like 20, 30 minutes, just watching straight gunfire, nunchucks, fucking all kind of batons. Just it was crazy, bro. So yeah, man, John Wick 4, incredible, and honestly one of the best films I've seen this year. And I mean, man, hands down, I couldn't honestly, bro. And I think that was March Movie Madness as well. When did John Wick come out? That's all I'm saying, bro. March Movie Madness was crazy. Yeah, it came out March 24th. That's what I'm like, boy, March Movie Madness with the shit. Number 3, Fast 10. Yeah, Fast 10 is in my top 5, top 3, and it ain't 4. Like, what it says in my top 4 and it ain't 4. It's 3. Dante, let's just get right to the shits. Bro, the best villain of this year. It's not even close. He was better than the High Evolutionary. He was better than Spot. He was better than Creed, the Jonathan Majors character from Creed. He was better than Balls or whatever from Super Smash Bros. He was the best villain this year because he was the craziest. It's like they was like, yo, Jason Momoa, how crazy do you want to get? And he was like, yes. And they was like, wait, you want to get like, wait, huh? And it was like, wait, you want more crazy than that? And Jason Momoa was like, no, the crazy I want to be painting a dead man's nails, and not just any dead man, a dead man that's decaying like he's been dead for about a week. Like, yo, Jason Momoa, he was so good, it almost made me want to go see Aquaman. Almost. Almost. But I didn't like the first one. So I ain't going to see that shit. But almost made me want to go see Aquaman. But he really bodied this. Like, and I said his performance in this was Jigsaw meets Joker, early Joker from, the Heath Ledger days. And he just combined those and made a new character. So, man, he was really good. And you know how when you hype a movie up so good, I went to go see this movie with my mom. You hype a movie up so good. We was hyping it up to my brother Chris so much. He went to go see it. And then he called me. He was like, bro, you was not lying. Like, yo, Fast 10, even he said it. He was like, Fast 10 was better than Guardians 3. And I was like, see, I knew I wasn't tripping. He was like, that movie was better than Guardians 3. And Dante definitely, he got the crown right now for villains. And I said, I think he was like, I say he's one of the best villains of the last 20 years. And I'm standing on that. I would put the way he acted in this movie right next to Thanos. Like, he was really good in this movie as a villain. And obviously, the rest of the cast, the characters was great. You talk about Vin Diesel and bringing along his son, and Letty and all of these, the regular cast of characters. It was typical, the crazy stunts. I know a lot of people, like, to me, this trope or this whole discussion is getting old. Like, when do they stop for gas? Or how come this and that? It's like, bro, this is an action movie for one. For two, you got to look at Dom as a superhero when he's behind the wheel of a car. And whatever, he don't even have to be behind the wheel. This man lifted the car up with his hands. Like, something about a car for him that's his superpower. And you just have to accept that. And once you accept that, these movies are so fun. It's like when you accept that he could just jump off a cliff and somehow a crane or like he could just drive off a cliff and ram into a crane and it's going to do this. And bro, all of that, bro, you just got to accept that that's his superpower. And if you accept it, you would love these movies even more. So yeah, man, I just Fast 10, highly recommend it. I've seen that movie twice in theaters, watched it a couple times on Peacock. Very good movie. Highly recommend it. And like I said, the villain, Jason Momoa, body yaddy's it. So, number 2, Across the Spider-Verse. I know y'all probably thinking, wow, number 1 wasn't Across the Spider-Verse. This is a man with a Spider-Man chain. Yes, I love this movie for sure. I thought Across the Spider-Verse was right there. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. Even though I only seen it twice in theaters, which is a little crazy. But it's definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year, but I did buy it. My problem with it, why I can't put it number 1, it's its beginning and its ending. Like, I'm just keeping it so real. The beginning starts off with Gwen, Spider-Gwen, and I get it was paramount to the story, but 20 minutes of just straight Gwen, this isn't her movie. And I thought that just it took me out of it a little bit. Everything after that, with Miles all the way until the movie ends, is great. But just that early 20 minute, man, is why I couldn't put it number one, because number one, I was locked in from beginning to end. This one, I wasn't as much. And to be real with you, this movie doesn't feel like a complete movie. Like, I know people could try to argue it all the time. Oh, it's his own movie. Yeah, that's true. But initially, this movie was called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. And then they came and changed it. And I think it's because I think they knew in their heart of hearts this wasn't going to, because remember, Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out in February. They know they're not making that deadline. So I think they knew, okay, let's change it. That way you don't, it's not like an in-game type of thing. Because this movie, the ending was just like, it just ended and nothing was resolved. It's like, okay, what the ending was like a TV show ending. It's like, oh wow, that was a crazy cliffhanger to come back for next year. A lot of people compare it to Infinity War and Endgame and how those two parts of a story. While that is true, Thanos won in Infinity War. He won. What he set out to do, that's when you realize this whole movie is an Avengers movie about Thanos. It's Thanos' movie, and he won, and that was the end of it. No one won in this movie in the Across the Spider-Verse. There was no, like, can we say Spot won? We don't know. Yeah, Miles was able to get away from the Spider Crew, and he was able to do his own thing. But did he win? No, he ended up in a different universe. Like, I don't know, bro. So I feel like everything in that movie from after the Gwen part, like when we show up in the bodega, all the way until right before the end, like even the end was good. It's just the ending made it bad, if that makes sense. The ending was good if it was a TV show. But for a movie, nah, I wasn't feeling it as a movie. So for that, it was number 2. But everything other than that, the comedy, the action, it all was great. Seeing the cameos, everything was great about it, other than the beginning and the ending of the movie. So that is why it gets number 2. Okay. Again, before we get to the last one, man, follow Kevin27 World and get 5-star ratings. And please like, comment, subscribe on this video. And make sure to turn on notification bells. And please 5-star rate me on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can also turn on notification bells there so you don't ever miss an episode of Straight Outta Marvel or Kevin27 World or This Is Cinema. Number 1, rev your engines. Yep. Gran Turismo. Yep. Number 1 is Gran Turismo. This movie, from beginning to end, I was locked in. And I'm not even BSing with you. Like, the montage that starts and they start telling you about the creator and how the creator of the game, Gran Turismo, and how he created the most realistic version of of all of these racetracks and how it became a simulator and all of this stuff. It just locked me in instantly. And then the actor who plays Jean, he just embodies the role so hard to make me believe like he's the real Jan. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm watching interviews of him and the real Jan, I'm like, bro, you the real Jan. Like, you know what I mean? And again, we talking about expectations here. So I didn't expect this movie to even be as great. And I'm not even gonna lie. By the end of the film, bro, I damn near wanted to cry. Not even the end of the film. Not even the end of the film. I mean, even during the film, towards, like, it was incredible, bro. Like, and honestly, I really wanted to read some of the comments on here, because if you look at the comments on Gran Turismo on YouTube, bro, here's one. Best movie I've seen this year. Here's another one. I never leave reviews on any movies, but this one is truly a 10 out of 10. Another person, 9 out of 10 recommended. Wow, what a great story. So close to ranking it 10 out of 10. Uh yeah, the rest of that's stupid. But brilliantly, someone said brilliantly paced, entertaining adaptation of an incredible true story ever filmed. Bro, this movie was just honestly, this movie was incredible. It was like the most inspirational movie I've seen. Probably, I don't want to say in my lifetime, but it might be like when we talking about because like I'm a gamer, so to see a guy and for those who didn't see Gran Turismo, let's just give a little backstory on it real quick because it's not like it made a lot of money. So, Gran Turismo is a 2023 movie based on the true story of Jan Mardenborough, a teenage Gran Turismo gamer who became a professional race car driver. The movie stars Archie Madekwe as Mardenborough, David Harbour, blah, 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 blah. And this shit on Netflix. The movie is about a team of underdogs, including Mardenborough, a struggling gamer, a failed race car driver, and a motorsport executive who risk it all to compete in the world's most elite sport. And it's inspired by Mardenborough's real life experience at the first ever GT Academy, which took place in 2008. So yeah, bro, like this type of stuff makes you wonder, like with Rotten Tomatoes, like the tomato meter is a 65%, and then the audience score is 98%, and it just kind of makes you wonder like what's going on. Like it's just no consistency because the movie was just incredible. I mean, Orlando Bloom, incredible. David Harbour, incredible. Like when he says a story about all of these people thinks that you can do it, I'm here to prove that you can't. Like it just send chills down my spine. Like David Harbour acted his ass off in this movie. Like I don't know, man. It was really good. I mean, uh, Jimon Hansen, he was Steve's dad. He was great again. Like he was great. Like all of this, like the whole movie, bro, was just truly inspiring, And we'll dive deep into it because I mean, this is going to be in my top 10 of movies, period. I don't know where it's going to land when I do my ultimate review for 2023 for New Year's, but we definitely going to dive deeper into it, like some of the scenes. But bro, it was just honestly, bro, if you haven't seen Gran Turismo, go watch it. I mean, it's an amazing story of triumph, of never giving up on your dreams, of always believing in yourself, of it's that thing that Will Smith said, like, no one is to believe in your dreams but you, because they are your dreams. And a lot of times we as people, like, we feel resentment towards our family, our friends, because hey man, you ain't posting my music, or you ain't you will post a stranger's music, but you won't post my music, or you'll post a stranger's podcast, but you won't post mine. You know why? Is because they believe in that stranger. They don't believe in you. And it's up to you to make people believe in your dreams, because they aren't your dreams. They aren't their dreams. They are your dreams. And um they're only going to go as far as you take them. Like you can only go as far as you can take yourself. And yes, life is about who you know, but sometimes when those opportunities come and it may feel like it was meant for you, like if they never did the GTA Academy thing, this movie is never made. You know what I mean? Like that was another thing that I thought was real corny about the tomato meter. How you gonna hate on a true story? I mean, this if you when I read on the real Jan, from what is in his Wikipedia and his life story, the movie follows that from beginning to end. Like they showed his triumphs, how he almost finished in the top spot on the top five, and then lost and kept losing and fucking was able to finish third in Dubai. Like it followed the story well, so I'm not sure why it was hated on so much for the critics, but it was a really good movie, man. And that's why it's my number one film of the year. And it hasn't been a film like to bring me to tears since Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's because I was like overly just joyed. Like I had so many emotions running through my body. Like it had nowhere to go but out in tears. Like I was so happy, like filled with joy. You know what I mean? So this movie, it brought me to tears, man, because it was just so inspiring. It just taught you to never give up on your dreams, man. Never give up on your dreams. Whether you're a podcaster and because I've seen a lot of people's stuff, bro. Like I've seen a lot of people's Spotify stats this year, and some people had like only 5 listeners as like it was like 5 people as their number one podcast. That was mine last year. And this year it was 105. So, you know what I mean? Like you just got to keep grinding, you know? And I even got to tell myself that, you know? So that's why this movie is number one for me because it's just truly inspirational. And it's one of the best movies I've seen this year. Hands down in theaters. Hands down in theaters. Best movie I've seen this year. And I don't even think it's close, man. So that's why Gran Turismo is my number one movie. So do you agree with my top 10? Do you agree? Was I too harsh on the ones in the 20s? Was I too harsh on the 10 to 15, the 15 to 20 range? Was I too harsh? Should I have some of those 10 to 15? Should some of those be in the top 10? What should I take out of my top 10? Let me know at Kevin27World on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube in them comment sections. Like and make sure you tune in our notification bell. Please subscribe and please 5-star rate me, my podcast on Apple and Spotify. It shows Kevin27. This is an episode of This is Cinema, the 2023 wrap up, and we will be continuing this. So I will see you guys later on for What If, and believe until you make believers.